Everybody, Jane and I are back to make another video. We weren't even going to do this today. Today's actually Labor Day, and we were just going to come in here because we got a new camera and some microphones. We're upgrading our whole system. We were having trouble, as a few of you mentioned, and you probably noticed, we're having some focusing problems. So we upgraded and we hope you like it. We thought we'd come in today and play around, and we decided, hey, let's just shoot a video and see how it turns out. So I wasn't even prepared what I'm going to paint, so I just kind of looked at some references and picked this up. It's, I don't even know how this is going to turn out, but I thought I'd kind of share what I'm doing with this like little still life. I got a bottle of wine and a vase of flowers, and I think there's a pear in there, and a glass of wine. So let's just see where this can take us. Okay, so here we are. I've had some comments about how many colors, everybody has comments, right? How many colors I use, and I do use a big variety of colors, and it's just kind of fun, and I find that they're the ones I use. Every painter is different, and you could always create a painting with some basic colors and stick within, and it really brings unity into your painting if you're using basic, a limited palette. But this is just kind of how the direction I ended up, and this is how I do it, so this is why I'm sharing it. I'm not saying it's the best, I'm just saying this is how I do it. So here we go. I'm going to make a little vase right here. When you do a still life, you want to fill up your canvas. You don't want to make a little scene that's kind of lost there, and then you got to worry about the background. The bigger you make your main subject, the less background you have to worry about. So I'm drawing this with my 1-inch Princeton Dakota series and 6300, and I'm using my Hooker's green. Wow, some water just dripped on my foot. I don't know where that came from.
And that's Liquitex.
Yeah, I like Liquitex a lot, but use whatever paint you're comfortable. Liquitex comes in a heavy-bodied, really good, more expensive kind, or they have a student grade. It's just the student grade is not as condensed with pigment, if I said that right. Anyway, you're going to get better coverage with the more expensive paint. But all of it is okay to use, and you'll see as you grow as a painter, what's comfortable for you. I'm going to indicate here, like I always do with my flowers, I'm going to just make some dark areas where my flowers are and fill that in later. So I hope I sound all right. Jane, testing, how do you sound? Say something, Jane.
Well, I can't. I just hear me talking. I don't know. Sounds like it always does.
All right, okay, I'm going to put a glass of wine right here. Now, that's what you call a kind of a tangent, because this glass, I should have the glass overlapping this, because you don't want one shape butting up right next to each other and kissing right there. You just don't want that. So I'm going to redo that so that they're overlapping like that.
And then you could have a lemon. Oh, no, not on the side of the wine glass. Never mind.
Now that wouldn't be very tasty. If it was a margarita. And then I'm going to do a wine bottle. Now this is a good trick. It's hard to get a wine bottle balanced. I'm going to have him go in back. Now that's a tangent too. That's the toughest part of a still life, is getting through the tangents. So I'm going to make like a church window for the body of my wine bottle. See how this glass is overlapping both of these shapes. And this guy is receded it back a little bit on the table. And then you can just make your top on top of that, and gives you more of an even bottle right there. my photograph has a pear in it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just not gonna do it because I've kind of filled up, see, I filled up my whole canvas with my image, so I'm good. I don't need to put a pear. I'm gonna make this guy solid. Now I just have to decide if I want this to be red or white wine. I think I'll make the top go all the way off the top.
And you're just using the hooker's green.
That's all I'm using.
Okay.
And now I'm going to put in my values. I gotta figure out where my light's coming in. I guess I'll have it coming from the left, because I usually do. I'm just gonna lighten up this side of the vase.
And you're using just titanium white.
Yeah.
And your canvas size today?
24 by 18.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of these to make these videos because they kind of fit really well in our format. I can't get it much bigger because I can't reach. But we're working on that too. I'm going to darken the other side. That is,
Titanium white and hooker's green mixed?
yeah, a little bit. And I got, this is an older palette. I got a little blue mixed in, so I'm just kind of using up some of the slop that's on my palette. But I want this in my photograph that I took, by the way. My picture is a light green. So, and my wine in this photograph is white. So right over the dark flowers, while it's still kind of wet, I'm going to just indicate, and it's going to turn gray, but this is the first layer, some white flowers. I don't know what kind of flowers these are. They're just my flowers. What, Jane?
Oh, I'm just, you heard us. Some people, when I read the comments, they're just wondering the shade of orange or red that you use on
That's
the back.
true. I use a cadmium red light, and I just really like it. It's not, it looks pinky, but it's not too pink, because if it's not cool. And if it's too cool, if it's cool, it doesn't have the same effect. So I just, not to say that I won't change my mind later on, but right now, this has been the color.
And now you've added some cad yellow
Yes,
medium? Okay.
Yeah, to my hooker's green, and
Okay.
I'm doing some leaves. Look at how this brush can just do the job. Look at that. I'm just making these leaves.
Wonder how many miles you've painted on your brush.
Well, I have actually a lot of these brushes. That's a good point, Jane, because these brushes get beat up pretty quickly, and they're rubbing against this textured canvas all the time, and it's a little hard on them. So every now and then I go and buy a new brush, and it's so much fun because it's so fresh and sharp. I can get really sharp edges with it. So I know they're kind of expensive, but it's worth it. I like this color. It's a blue-green. So now let's see. I'm going to, I'm gonna put a label here.
Now, is it a particular blue, or is that just smudged in?
It's kind of smudged. I think I have a little phthalo and light blue mixed in there. I've been working on some other paintings, so it's kind of, things are a little messed right now, so I'm just using it. We didn't even know we were going to film today, so that's my excuse. I think I'm going to I'm just going to outline this guy. I'm going to break up my outline. Now I can't ignore, this is on a table, but I'm going to put some shadow down, and I'm going to use those 4 colors that I always talk about. Light blue violet, a little brilliant purple, and some Naples yellow. And it makes a really nice shadow back here. So if my lights come in this way, then there's going to be shadows cast. If this is going to be a white wine, I'm just going to go in with my first layer of Naples yellow right here. You should see this up close, and I still haven't had my other cataract done. So I'm basically, I have one eye that's in focus and one eye not. But I'm getting used to it.
But your surgery's next week, so.
At the end of next week.
Yeah.
So,
And that's white with the yellow and picking up some of the blue?
Yeah, it's actually just Naples yellow,
Okay.
going over that wet hooker's green.
Okay.
You can have, I'm an expert on wine, but you can have a bottle of white wine that comes in a dark bottle. Not all the time, but you can. So if I decide to make this dark for the sake of the painting, I can do that. My goal is to get this whole canvas covered with paint and then let it dry and then go in and finish it. This is tablecloth.
And that's just titanium white and whatever else it's picking up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, paint like you're super brave. It's gonna dry and you can paint over anything, so don't get all stressed about it, but have some very confident brush strokes. You'll find that it's pretty rewarding. Even if you're not feeling that confident, just do it anyway. Now, see, look at my flowers, they're all just dripping. I'm going to put another layer on there. I'm going to keep them white, and I think I'm going to do a really dark background. We're going into fall, and that's going to be that's that feeling. All right, my dark background is going to be hooker's green and a little a little bit of aliziran crimson mixed together. This is dramatic.
The contrast, yeah.
Yeah. Another sexy painting, Jane Slivka. So, and here we go. And then, of course, I'm going to take this out. I'm painting behind these flowers.
Negative painting.
Negative painting around my flower. You don't want your flowers too dense. You don't want them all smashed together. You just kind of want them flopping in the vase. And so you leave space. Oops, I picked up a little bit. Somehow a little portrait paint just jumped over my palette and into the hooker's green.
Well, maybe it had a purpose.
I don't think it did. But I won't totally deny it. But here we go. See, you're right, Jane. Maybe I needed to lighten it up there. I'm going with just my hooker's green and aliziran crimson. I got a lot of paint. So, there we go. I think, this is my dark background. When you paint glass, you paint right through it. My dark background behind my wine glass. It's very messy, if you want to use that word. No, it's just fluid, and it's, you know, it's got a lot of movement, and you know, I will go in after it dries and clean it up a little bit, not too much, because it's got some excitement to you know, it's got a feeling that it's just kind of free. And so, but yeah, I will clean it up and we'll see where this takes us. So I'm gonna go take it outside and we'll see when I come back and finish it. Hi everybody, we're back. I just picked this up. It was laying out in my courtyard in the sun and it's bone dry. So that's the way, you know, I can just really get my colors to pop. I cannot keep continuously working on this. You've got to give it a break and let it dry. So I'm going to go back in with my 1-inch brush still. And I'm going to really start the painting process, but I really like the loose feeling of this, so I'm just going to kind of hopefully keep that going. I'm going to dip into some white with a little bit of Naples yellow. It just kind of warms up that white. You know, a little bit of that red poking through makes such a big difference. I cannot paint on a white canvas. I can't do it.
Hence the reason you paint them orange.
That's right. I
Or red.
I think they dry really dull. I just don't. I can't work that way. There, I just put one layer. And now I might. I'm going to take this white and go on the side of my vase and paint a little bit. You're going to be able to see a little bit of that right through the glass. And I'm going to use a really pretty color of, let's see, I'm going to try to make a pretty color. I've got some light blue, a little phthalo green going on, and maybe some yellow. You know, just play around. I just kind of want a tealy, look at that. I want a tealy green. You might have to experiment yourself. It's just, yeah, phthalo light
green, light
yeah,
blue.
and a little bit of yellow and white.
And that's Naples yellow.
No.
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 Cad yellow.
Cad yellow light. Yeah.
Light, okay.
You're doing it good, Jade. Look at this color.
It's like my living room walls.
It is. It's pretty. Add a little blue to it.
And that's just
light blue.
light blue. Okay.
It's like a robin's egg blue, kind of. Yes, I could probably mix it out of basics, but I don't do that. I'm using it. There we go. And then I'm going to add a little bright there. When it dries again, I'm going to add some reflections on it. Now you've got to, if you're going to put that color someplace, you're going to have to repeat it. I'm going to throw a little bit in all my shadows. And this is my wine label. I like wine labels because you can put color where you need to. You don't have to, you can design them with just the colors you need. Do a white label. Whoop. You got a little over the bottle, but that's okay. I'm going to hit my shadows one more time. See how that green over here just kind of stops that from being so isolated? And a little bit over in the shadows.
Now that's your light blue,
light blue and brilliant purple.
Okay.
I'm in love with these colors right now. I'm going to take this brilliant purple and light blue maybe a little bit of Naples yellow. I'm gonna throw some in my flowers.
Ooh.
I'm just feeling this today. I think it's because we weren't planning on doing this. And we just said, why not? We'll give the new camera a run. A little bit of stems. I don't care if they're blue. And as this bottle dried, it dried a nice shade of green. I'm going to kind of keep it that way. Just pick up a little light green, you know, yellow and hookers. Ugh, nope. Not liking it. There we go. I just hit it next to a little bit of that blue-green there. I'm gonna go a little darker. Kind of cool. All right, I'm going to take that same green, I'm going to move it over, and I'm going to make some leaves with it.
And that's the phthalo green?
No,
No.
hooker's green.
Hooker's green.
And yellow.
And yellow.
Cadmium yellow medium. Let's have some falling down here. Just kind of all over the place. And I'm going to plan is I'm going to go in with my white. Which is pretty dirty, really dirty.
It's picking up all kinds of colors.
It is.
But it works.
It does. You know, it's sometimes, you know, pure white, it should always have some tones in it, some colors. So that's probably good. It's a good thing. I do believe that people want to see brush strokes because it's a painting. You don't need to make it look, making it look real is not the real object. Or, you know, not for me anyway. But, you know, it's how beautiful a simple setup can actually be seen through an artist's eyes with brush stroke and light. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Now I'm going to put my brush down, the big brush, and I'm going to go just to my 1/2 inch Dakota series, 6300 series, number 6, I believe. It's just a smaller one, and I can go in. I'm going to hit the side of my wine glass, but I'm going to break it up. I'm going to outline it, but with broken line. And I'm going to break it up with white too.
And you break it up because?
Because you just don't want a continuous line.
Okay.
It still reads as line, but it's broken. That's way more interesting than if I just outlined it. That would just be ridiculous, Jane.
Okay. Of course.
Now, your wine is going to be a little bit lighter at the top. I learned that in a workshop I took. That most liquids are always whiter at the top. I'm gonna delicious. I'm gonna hit some different tones in there. I like a little bit of that red, I don't know. And it's wonky, it's not, it's a little wonky, but what if a friend of mine that was a glass blower made this and he didn't make it totally perfect? That could be the story. Who's to say? It makes for interesting. It makes for interesting. So here we go, I'm just gonna throw a little bit of white here. I just love to play with labels, that's when I get to do some abstract painting. Now watch this. This is cool. I'm gonna make some reflections on that bottle, just like that. And then my glass is so wonky. Boing, make some reflections there. And then I'm going to get some white and I'm going to make some reflections here. Reflections are fun. Don't get carried away with them. Don't go, oh, that looks good, I think I'll do it a million times, and then you're just going to lose the whole effect. So I'm going to put some green stems in here. Now's the time that you can just get a little bit picky, fussy. Don't get too fussy, but you can clean up some areas. And yes, before I probably put this out on my gallery floor, I'll sit down and really study it and probably tweak it out a little bit. But I'm kind of liking the looseness of it today. It's a holiday. It's fall, it feels like, in Florida where it's like
97
90
degrees
degrees.
and 80% humidity.
Yeah, I'm getting fussy right there. So I think, and then when you put, when you do a still life and you put your objects on the table, you always want to kind of darken it, but break up your line again, a little bit underneath, because no light can be between your object and the table, and it grounds your.
And that's just Hooker's green, right?
Yeah, and maybe a little bit of aliziran.
Okay.
That's it. I think that's as far as I'm going to go today. I might tweak it out a little bit when I get it up to the front in my painting studio. I'll just tweak it out a little bit when I'm sitting right dead in front of it, and I'll sign it, and then maybe spray it with a spray varnish. All different kinds out there. I don't recommend any certain one over another one. You can use matte, you can use satin, you can put it on with a sponge brush, you can spray it, whatever you want to do. But I like to put a little bit of a layer over my paintings just to protect them, and because the canvas is porous and over time it'll collect dust, especially if it was in my house. So anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe and to our channel, because we're just going to keep moving on, and hopefully you like our new equipment. We're pretty excited, and we have some other ideas ahead of us that we're going to surprise you with. So
And maybe some classes that we have at the website.
yes, we might add some. We have 10 classes up that you can buy off my website, janeslivkagallery.com. If you go there, you can go immediately to YouTube, and there you go to the shop page. And that's where you can purchase a class. And they're only $25, and they're an hour long. So you'll own the class, and you can stop it and start it and paint along with me. So that's what we need to make those. So, and that's it. So we'll see you next time. We'll be making another one of these real soon. And we'll see you. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. Happy painting.